In this video, let's talk about Digital Anarchy's update to their Beauty Box plugin and their brand new plugin that will help you visualize and animate data. All right, real quick, you're watching Video Brand. Special thanks to our sponsors for helping make this NAB coverage possible: Massive, Metricool, OpenReel, Adspective, and Vestigit. Be sure to check them out. Links are in the description below. And now, back to the interview. All right, what's up? I am here with Jim from Digital Anarchy. So tell me what's up. You got some new plugins and some updates.
Yeah, so we have some new stuff coming out. We have a new version of Beauty Box that is coming out. And as you can see, I am having internet problems, so I cannot register the software. So I'm, I'm pirating my own software. But we have the crosshatch on here. We're using AI to generate a couple new types of masks. Beauty Box traditionally analyzes the video frame for skin tones, builds an automatic mask based on those skin tones, and then we track the skin tones throughout the entire video clip as the talent moves around. And that's great for skin retouching, but it's less great for things like shine removal, which we have in the current version, but you'll notice that not only is it picking up the highlights on the face and bringing those down, but it's also picking up highlights in the, the hat, in the background, and dropping those down. So if I turn this on and off, you can see it's affecting the hat as well as the face. And that's not really what we want. So one of the things we're using AI for is generating a facial mask that just isolates the face. And now when I do that, the hat's not affected. It's only her cheeks and whether it's a little bit of some highlights there that are being now corrected. And we can take a look at what that mask looks like. We can see the face mask. And you want to do a V for Vendetta thing, you could possibly use Beauty Box for that too. But then the other thing we're using it for is teeth whitening. And you can see what the teeth mask looks like. And if I turn that back off, we can see what that looks like. This is the original. And again, I apologize for the crosshatch, but you can see the teeth get slightly more white. We're just, with the AI stuff, we're really just looking at identifying where the teeth are. It's not really about like automatically making the teeth white. That's up to the editor. So we have controls down here for how much whiter do you want them? Because AI is great for doing what it does, but it often makes very weird decisions. And so making it an entirely automatic thing is not probably going to work out in a lot of cases. So we just use it to identify where the teeth are, and then we let the editor go in there and figure out exactly what the look is that they want.
Cool. Do you see like future uses of, so you got faces, teeth, of like identifying other objects or being able to like isolate things to like just make adjustments to them?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we had somebody ask about eyes, and that is something that we identify. The AI is less than perfect on the eyes right now, so that's kind of like a thing that we're kind of a future-based thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as that gets better, it'll make a little bit more sense. But it's especially on noisy footage, it doesn't really do a good job with holding the eyes temporally consistent. So you probably have to go in there and, depending on the footage, do a fair amount of cleanup, and that's not exactly what you want. Something like that. What Beauty Box is trying to avoid you having to do is go frame by frame and adjust the mask for every single friggin' thing. Theoretically, you could, brighten or whiten the eyes as well, and that's something we're looking at maybe future forward. But right now, we're just focused on teeth and shine, and those are definitely solvable and working pretty well.
All right, cool. And so what's the other app?
And so the other new thing that we have going on, and this is in alpha, we just got kind of the core tech working, and it'd probably be out in about 2.5, 3 months. That's kind of the time frame we're looking at. Newer product that we're talking about, which should be out in about a month, is something called Data Storyteller, and it is a collection of maps that you can animate. In this case, we have a world map that has the some climate change data that for each country, and that's kind of animating on as this globe spins. And of course, you can zoom in on all this. You can, if you want, just like talk about Africa or just talk about Europe. We can zoom in on those countries. For the US, it gets even better. you can not only do states, but you can come down to the county level. Come down to the county level, you can go by zip codes. We'll be adding in like congressional districts at some point. So you can get, if you've got government data or other types of data, you can use this to display all this stuff pretty, do some interesting animations. And it's not just, you can use more than one data file. So if you have like a sequence of data, say we've got, in this case, we have some climate change data from like 1960 through present, and you can see that as I animate through, I'm using different data sets.
Okay.
So if you have like data from like 1960, 1970, 1980, it's like you can point the plugin at those files and it'll animate through those files. And you can also just do normal data animations where if you have a single file and you just want to animate through the values in there, you can certainly do that. We support bar charts, we support line charts. Lots of different ways of visualizing data, and also scatter / bubble charts, which can be pretty interesting visualizations. And all this works within the NLE, right? So it's just a regular plugin for Premiere, After Effects, Final Cut, Resolve, whatever. And the editor can go in there and dial in like what animation settings they want, what the chart looks like. There's two kind of components to it. There's a plugin component, and then if you click Setup, it'll take you into the Data Storyteller app.
Okay, so this is how you bring the data in?
Yeah, so this is where you set everything up. This is, you upload your data, select what chart you want, select
and it's uploading like CSV, Excel file,
Yeah, so you can bring in Excel files, you can bring in a CSV file. Those are two formats we support. That pretty much will cover.
I can't think of any other spreadsheet files.
So then you bring that in, and you set up your colors. One of the things that is pretty important to all this stuff is you can assign colors to specific values. So we can map a min and max in the data, and we'll say it starts at like 57 million and goes to 150 million. Well, we can set that to a gradient, and here's my min at 57, the max is 150, and then every value is in between. Kind of like working with grayscale, right? You've got like 0 to 256. You can control blurs or other things with grayscale. Same deal where you're mapping values to colors. And that's what allows the maps to do its thing, where we're showing different colors for different counties based on their population data or some other type of data, right? Okay. So you got a lot of control over the colors, what data you're selecting, what the background grid looks like. Do you want no lines, all lines? So lots of ways just different ways of setting up the different visualizations.
Cool, and I see you got animation control down there.
Yeah, and so you can set up the basic animation here, and then once you come back out, you've got a bunch more animation controls down here that you can then keyframe. You can incorporate other things that are in the NLE, like masks, for example. You can make the background transparent, so we can have the graphics on top. But you can also take something like this, where with this piece I've got a mask around the important data, and that mask changes as the data changes. And so these are some of the things that you can do being part of being in After Effects or Premiere or Final Cut or whatever, that you wouldn't be able to do in, like, if you went to Excel and tried to create the graph.
Right, having this time animation
right,
show up.
Yeah.
And do you have any control over sort of how you style the graph, besides the color of the plots and the lines, like bringing in your own styles or styling the chart?
You can make the background transparent, so you can put anything you want behind that. With a chart, it's kind of a chart, so there's limits to.
I guess maybe the better one is for the maps. Like if you wanted to style the maps with your own whatever, like if you have different textures or graphic designs that.
Yeah, I mean,
go with your
in
brand.
that case, you probably again use like something like After Effects to layer the texture on top of it.
Okay.
You have your map layer, have another layer on top of it with maybe the texture or something, and then just use a blend mode or something to make that happen. But of course, like all of this is on transparency. So if you wanted to add a glow to this, you can do that. So I mean, being within the video editing app, you do have a lot of ways of applying other plugins to the charts to get different looks.
And it's kind of just one more layer in the app that you can stylize with other effects or plugins and stuff.
Yeah, and as we get feedback from users about what they want, we can start adding things in. What's driving this behind the scenes is a library called D3. So it's a pretty powerful data visualization library. So we're kind of doing 1.0 with bar charts, line charts, scatter, and then the maps. But there's a lot of power behind it, and we can certainly do other types of charts. And so that is the plan, to keep coming out with different types of data visualizations, and then people can tweak those as they want. And of course, like with After Effects, it's just a layer, and so if you want to have that in 3D space and have that move around, you can just do the After Effects
Z-space
thing.
it,
Exactly.
And so we're in After Effects, but what other compatibility does this and Beauty Box have?
1.0 for Data Storyteller will be After Effects, Premiere, and Final Cut, and then Resolve will be coming shortly after that. For Beauty Box, we support AE, Premiere, Final Cut, Resolve, Avid, and that will be the same case with 6.0. We'll continue to support all those apps.
Pricing?
$199.
For Data Storyteller?
Yeah, $199 for Data Storyteller. Beauty Box is also $199.
Okay.
If you bought Beauty Box within the last year, then the upgrade is free. Otherwise, the upgrade will be like $89, I think.
Cool. And where can people find out more information?
DigitalAnarchy.com.
All right.
So
perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Paul.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
If you go to DigitalAnarchy.com, we have demo trial versions. All the products. We're going to be doing a public beta of Data Storyteller. So if folks want to download that, it'll probably be active in about a week or so. So swing by the Digital Anarchy site, keep an eye open for it.
Okay, cool. All right, well, thanks, Jim.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the video. For more of our NAB coverage, be sure to check out the playlist right here and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.